Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open up a Google Sheet. You can open up your email and then click on your drive, or you can just type in drive.sheet. And what's going to come up is a Google Sheet. So you're just going to open it up, and as long as you're logged into your email up here, you will get it saved on that drive. So the first thing we want to do before we make this self-checking sheet is I always like to label them. So I'm going to label them YouTube demo self-checking sheet. That way I remember what it was for. And then what I want to do is I don't want it to look like this. I don't want students to open this up and see all of these extra columns and rows. I want it to be neat and organized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of get rid of everything I don't need. So what I do is I kind of start off, I'm going to make this like a header. So I'm going to highlight 3 boxes. You can make this as thick or as wide as you want. And then if you come up here, this is the merge button. So basically I've now just merged this into a one singular box. And then what I'm going to do underneath this is I'm going to start merging together the columns for the questions and the columns for the answers. So let's just start merging. So I'm going to choose 2 boxes, like a 2 by 2, to kind of merge together. And for this demo, we'll just create a 5 question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do a 5 question demo. So we're going to merge all of these together. And then we're going to wind up highlighting them so that they really stand out. Okay, so now I merged everything. So now I'm going to highlight all of this. Actually, we have to merge 2 more because I just realized I needed a heading for each column. So here we go. Okay, now we're going to highlight everything, and this is the borders, right? So I want everything to be highlighted so that it kind of looks like a table. And what I'm going to do now, just to show you what I'm typing in here, is I'm going to write check your answers below. And I'm going to pick a font, and I'm going to make it as large as I would like, or as it will fit. So I'm going to kind of go like this. And then I'm going to center it on the box. So I'm going to click down here. Nope. Here. I was like, which arrow is it? And it's going to be this middle one. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of center it to the middle of your screen. And then I want question number here and answer here. So again, you can choose any font you want. It does not matter what color, what it looks like, as long as your students can read it, of course. And I'm going to center them, and then I'm just going to make them bigger as well. So what I also like to do is put a background in the box. So this little button here, this fill color, I like to do gray. You can, again, any color you want. And then the lighter boxes, or the boxes underneath, I like to do a little bit lighter gray. So now they kind of just like pop a little bit. So in the question number box, you're going to label 1 through 5, or however many questions you have, right? So I'm going to highlight because I want all my font to be the same. Pretty big. That way we can read it. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again, I want all of this centered. So I am going to center it here. And then even though it kind of looks like it's probably almost in the middle, I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Okay, so now that we're here, I don't need any of these boxes to the left, any rows, any columns. I don't need them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight. I'm going to scroll all the way over, and I'm going to click on the down arrow, and basically you can delete all of those columns. Okay, so I'll just do that one more time. I highlighted everything, and then I'm going to click on the down arrow, and there's a little garbage can that says delete. If you can't see that, which I'm sure I can if I make my window larger, you can go to format. There's a tool. I always use that tool. So I actually oh, delete right here. So it says delete columns E through Z. So either one will work. Then I want to do the same thing for all of these rows, but there are 1,000 rows. So just hold your mouse on it. You know, it takes a little bit longer than you probably would like for it to. But you also could, because I know that it's going to go to 1,000, I could just type in 1,000 right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to delete rows 16 through 1,000. So there is 1,000 rows. So now when your students open this up, it looks super neat and super organized. And again, you can make it whatever color you want. If you're like a color person, which I normally am, but when it comes to like students, I like to be a little bit more bland, but you could to spice it up, make it crazy, if you know that's the kind of kids your students are. So now what you're gonna do is you basically have to code this, right? I want this box to turn white when nothing is in it. I want the box to turn green when the correct answer is in it. And I want the box to turn red when the wrong answer is in it. So I'm gonna come up to format, make sure your box is highlighted. I'm gonna come up to format and I'm gonna click on conditional formatting. And it's gonna bring up this little situation here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, if the box is empty, I want the box to be white. Now, maybe you don't want the boxes white. Maybe you want them a different color. You can pick any color you want. And then you're going to click done. Then you're going to go and add another rule, because now all we have in that box, that rule is just the box is empty, it's white. But now what I want to do is I want to say when the box is equal to, so there's a bunch of different stuff you can do here. I just use this a lot for multiple choice or escape rooms and things like that. When the box is equal to, let's just say A, B, C, D, pretend that's the right answer. I want the box to turn green, and then I'm gonna add another rule, and I'm gonna say, if the box is not equal to A, B, C, D, I want the box to turn red. So now, if I click something in here, let's say I think it's A, B, 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 the box will turn red because that's not the answer. But if I click A, B, C, D, the box will turn green. And I'm glad that just happened because I forgot to mention that the letters can be capital or lowercase. It does not matter which one. So that's always great with stuff like this because you don't need to really tell your students how to make sure that they're capital or not. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just code the rest. So remember, if it's empty, I want it white. If it is equal to, and I'm just going to make them all the same for the ease of remembering so that if I show them to you, okay, so if it's not equal to A, B, C, D, I want it to turn red, okay, and now that's this box, right? So now, again, you can just type in A, B, C, D, good, let's pretend I didn't know, and it was A, nope, not right, Jen. Okay, so again, same thing. Now, what you can't do is do it all at once because it'll change everything in each of the boxes. So like if I highlighted all of this and I tried to do this, it would, what answer was in one box, it would have to be the answer in the other box too. I hope that made sense. So again, I want it white if it's empty. I want it equal to A, B, C, D. Then I want it green because that's the correct answer. Not equal to A, B, C, D. I want it red, right? So you can see how this takes a little bit of time, but once you are done with formatting, it literally is the best because you don't ever have to do it again if you keep the rules the same. So unless you decide to go change colors or anything like that, you always have this template set up. And again, a little time consuming, but at the end of the day, I feel like it is worth it. Now, look what happened. That box did not turn green. So let's go back and see what happened. I didn't click is equal to. That's why. There we go. So always check it. I always check it as I go and make sure. So is empty. I'm also talking and working at the same time, which I don't normally do that much. So A, B, C, D, and then not equal to A, B, C, D. Okay, so let's just check. Perfect. So now that all of your answers are in, now let's say you have this template, okay? There's a couple more really cool things you can do. The first thing you can do, which I always do, is I kind of do the same thing I did before, where I make everything look neater. And then, so let's say now you want to add 10 questions, or let's just do 7 questions. So each box, each question is 2 extra boxes, right? So I need 4 more. So I'm going to click add, and then it would add 4 more boxes for me, and then I can merge them and add more questions. So that's really cool because now that you have the template, it becomes a lot easier to be able to add or subtract boxes. Okay, so now let's say I now give this to my kids, they use it, it's awesome, and I want to use it for a different worksheet. I come in, if you make a copy, right? So YouTube self-checking part 2, make a copy of it. Of course, my internet is going to be super duper slow. I'll fast forward through this part. Okay, so now let's say my answer choices, my questions are 1 through 5 still. However, my answer is not A, B, C, D anymore. So I just click on the box, I go to format, I go to conditional formatting, and I leave the white box because I want it to be white. And now all I want to do is change the answer. So maybe the answer this time is B. Maybe it's 1 question. So I change this to B, I change this to B, and then B. So again, super cool, super easy to do. With multiple choice questions, sometimes obviously kids can kind of just do A, B, C, D and test all the different options out. What I like to do is if there's multiple questions, I'll go questions 1 through 4. So I'll have them put all their answers in, which is where the A, B, C, D came from. I'll have them put all their answers in here. So it's not as easy, right? So then I might do questions 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And I might do 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So now what happens is that students are no longer able to just test out different options, right? They can't just be like, oh, let's try A. Oh, that's not the right answer. Let's try B. Oh, I did it, right? Now they need to know questions 1 through 4 and get it correct. Now there's a 4-digit code again. So now A, B, C, D. Nope, that's not it. They could sit here and play around with it, but it's going to take them a very, very long time to figure out what that 4 answers in a row are. So hopefully this was helpful. I do have a free template available for you that I have already created with questions for templates for 10 questions, 12 questions, 15 questions, and 20 questions. I am sending that out in my email on Sunday, May 19th. So if this is before Sunday, then you can just sign up for my email list in the link below. But if it is after Sunday, May 19th, and you're watching this video, then you can get the link directly from the comments. I'll have it in there. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you try to create this on your own.